What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the storm that's brewing with banless speculation. A lot of that has been going around. We've seen so many cards spiking in price with, oh, this could happen, and then Summon Sorcerers actually panning out. The mid-max version 25th century rare of Lightning Storm is getting a pretty big buyout and is lower on quantities. And other mid quantities are even going, like the King's Court Collector rare, which was very, very low to be fair, with the new Prismatic Collector rare being a competitor, but this version still being so hard to pull. Well, when King's Copium, it's now $15, a big fall from grace on previously where it once stood above $70. I do feel like when it comes to having so many different nice versions of this card available, it's a good sign that Konami's actually in tune with what should be happening with staples more often. Even a previous top-end one that was starting to head towards $160 once upon a time. So I do like where Lightning Storm's at now. Even with the more recent buyout and speculation, I actually look at the bigger picture here and say, this is a nice looking amount of cards for a short time. Dimension Barrier, also out of Rarity Collection, is going up. I know it's been boring advice to say, if it's nice and in Rarity Collection, get it, but look at what keeps happening. Like, there's so many iconic, stable-esque, roll back into other format cards that are there to buy. Too many to list. And the top end is going, and now the mid-range is going, and it's going for a lot of the cards. So be aware, D-Barrier is up towards $27 for its quarter century secret rare. Someone's already bid at $26. Skull Guardian quarter century secret rare was bought out. I feel like I have been a bit too harsh on Voiceless Voice. The fire decks are so dominant, and if there was any movement on a list, well, something could happen, and they're continuing to get new support. That continuous trap, though, that brings Skull Guardian out, I really personally don't feel all that much like it's going to be good, but we do see a couple of sales with its announcement on the OG rare 112 on Light Play. It's darn hard to get a near mint at $250. Oh, the old tournament pack cards hit different. Now, high-end fire is also continuously going down in price. We've covered the low end for this, but I don't think I've ever seen this on the highest end of a metagame, even with banless fears. When reprints aren't around, people know they need to sell these cards to some degree once again. But Poplar, like, look at this, almost cut in half in price at $122 from best sellers. This is pretty wild to me, and I know a lot of people are getting super shaky from the ban list or waiting for the WCQ season, but people tend to buy in at the top end, really bling out their deck for a WCQ. They want to feel good about what they're playing, and seeing Poplar like this is actually a pretty darn big surprise at the top end. You could have had tons of arguments. Oh, the ultra rare, it's an ultra, it's pulled more, it should be valueless. That makes more sense, but for the top end quarter century secret rare, this is wild. And Promethean Princess with the waifu tax, people spent $400 on these at pre-sales on TCG Player. Just absolutely nuts. And it is about under half price now, 176 from a top rated seller, and tons of these at under 180. It is wild, again, to see the top decks tools end up in this direction. And I do feel like there was a lot of deserved hype, but I've never seen a top-end meta contender go down this hard when it's questionable what banless season will be doing to it, and the WCQ is right around the corner. Transaction rollback is going. People were pointing out, well, Lab's a pretty safe pick going into a banless. They've even helped it in the past, Lightning Storm to 2. I feel like if they are going to do some huge shakeup, they would actually do something about Lab, but yeah, maybe it would go through. I think this is more so a little bit of Joshua Schmidt hype, though, as we see directly the Paleo cards doing their thing. Whenever a pro person on YouTube is doing something and makes it look fun, a lot of people end up following, as we've been covering, and Paleozoic Cantina is going that way. Mareya, how do you say it? it's going as well and spiked up double in price, $2 for a super rare. Watch out. But yeah, we're seeing a ton of these cards end up in that direction and going up in price. So be aware that this isn't probably just lab and banlist theory, but you do get that double factor of going for this specific card. Trident Dragion has gone absolutely nuts for 10 pi, and I do feel like it probably should have some kind of reprint somewhere, Konami, but did Konami actually plan that for the TCG? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, people going in massively even crazier. It pays to look around when something gets support at the oddball things. I was wandering around bumbling through the OTS sets. I wasn't even looking for ice barriers, just doing my jobs, loading tabs, and I saw that this token has gone up a significant amount and is now, if you're not getting free shipping, around $4 plus for this token. And it's not even that good of a looker, but ice barriers are actually a fan favorite. Now, speaking of tokens I did call out before, the Nibiru token, which doesn't say Nibiru, so it's harder to search, Primal Being token is way up in price over time and is sitting above $8 in sales, but has come back down towards 6 to 7 for the lowest copies. It does go up towards 8 on the front page. I feel like this, again, its search term is so hard for people to connect for some reason, reading hard, and I do feel like it is such a nice looking token. We have all of the branded stuff basically going up when you look through it. It's not everything, but it's a lot of it, and we've covered other things, but be aware Cartesia for the Starlight Rare is up. So if you're on the earlier part, like, yeah, quarter century secret rares, they're the stonk, Starlight is old news, like, they just look so similar, and people are still going to go for the nice versions of things. Like, not everything's down when it comes to fire, and I know there's a lot of feelings with Rarity Collection 2 coming out on what could be in there and what archetypes could get extra support, but yeah, be aware Cartesia way back up towards $185 lowest, and Mirror Jade is also back up towards $300 lowest, with sales in that range recently. Clockwork Knight, I'm trying to figure this one out. This is a card that only has one printing out of Battles of Legend, and I've always liked the effect. It's very powerful. All face-up monsters become machine, and you know what else has gone up actually that combos with that is Cyber Dragon, although I would think Earth Machine would be a lot more viable. People love playing their Cyber Dragons. This could be anything but fire mentality, as well as, you know, people trying to lab this. Let me know if something's going on in the OCG, but I just can't wrap my head around why this is skyrocketing so heavily at this point. $15 is a lot to pay for this card, and it's max on the TCG market. Now, Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge, it's a set that's had its ups and downs for sure, like having a lot of the hype taken out from the Exodia and the Blackwing Armor Master and the Tins. I warned there would be problematic things for those cards, but the product itself also took an absolute huge hit, and in the Battles of Legend successful line and history, this one might have become the greatest stinker thanks to reprints on so many of these Starlight rares. But yeah, Cyber Dragon Ulti also up along with Clockwork Knight, and value displacement, other things becoming more expensive in the set does make a little bit of sense. But let me know if you know what Clockwork Knight is working towards, or did I find some low-key heat while looking around? Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversations. I am very much looking forward towards an actual ban list dropping, and it seems like the market is showing we're in full fever pitch of that, but I feel like the meta is getting way undervalued at this point versus the actual implications of what a usual WCQ ban list does.